It's sort of it spawned out of, I would say, out of accident really, because what I was thinking I need more exposure, and I need more exposure to hunters. So I figured, why don't I look for another store like mine, but that's like pure hunting, whether it's deer stands or compound bows or stuff like that, right? Or trail cameras, and I'll reach out to them, and I'll offer to I sell a product, they get a discount on your store, and vice versa, and then we just cross promote each other. Okay, and I figured that could be really good for both of us. So I reached out to a few stores, and I didn't get any replies, and people just didn't seem interested. And as I was going through a few of these websites, one guy just replied and said, "Actually, do you know what? I don't even get any traffic, so I'm actually selling the store because I just don't want to close it. So I'm just gonna sell it cheaply, and then I'm done with it." I was like, "Well, how much are you gonna sell it for?" He asked for 2K, and I thought, I mean, it could be an expensive experiment if it goes wrong, but I figured, why don't I create the store and start to get traffic to that store organically, the way I've learned how to do from you on my main store. And if I can get traffic, hunters to a hunting store, it should be easier. And then I'll just start introducing them to my other store, whether it's you buy a compound bow and, hey, do you want this also? Get a 10% discount over here at our partner's website or something like that. So at the moment, what we're doing now is we own the store, it's live, and we're producing about 3 pieces of content a week, 2 or 3 pieces of content a week over there. And some of those pieces of content in the last month, they've started ranking. So I'll start seeing traffic to this hunting store basically from now on, and we're selling products over there. So if a product sells, then I'll make a profit on that sale. But the idea would be I'm experimenting by using an e-commerce website to funnel traffic to another e-commerce website. So I don't know anybody that's done that before, so it's a bit of a weird experiment. But if it works, then if it works, it's going to be great because my products are not for hunters, so hunters are not looking. So there's a very, very, very small percentage of 1% actively looking for my product from the hunting world. But compound bows, for example, or crossbows, there's a lot of hunters actively looking for that sort of websites and stores and blogs and content. So I can cast a wider net and then introduce them through content or through special offers or through email marketing. So that experiment is started, but I think I won't know how successful it will be, maybe for another 6 to 12 months. But it'll be interesting to know if something like that will actually work.
I mean, it makes sense to me just from a sales funnel and finding customers. They're already investing money in a hobby,
Mm.
and they're pretty obsessive. They're probably going to look for other things to get. So pretty cool idea.
Yeah, and I can be collecting emails on that store as well. As time goes by, the email list will grow, and I can introduce them to, like, every third email could be whatever product I want to introduce them to. So it'll be a slow burn, like the affiliate marketing website. It's like the blog, the niche website. But I mean, it's worth, like, 12 months from now, it could be a gold mine, or it could just take on its own legs and become its own store, and then I'll just start running it like a regular store. So either way, I don't really see a negative to it.
How much money, I guess, profit was the site making, like, per month when you bought it? Because you mentioned you bought it for like $2,000, which seems like
Yeah.
kind of a huge bargain to me just for a working store.
Yeah, so it wasn't making anything. It wasn't generating any traffic. Didn't have an email list. It had like 4,500 social media followers, which was good. I was able to tap into their Facebook and Instagram, which hasn't generated much traffic, but at least I'm able to get in front of them from a different perspective as well. It's not my store trying to go, jump in front of them. It's the store that they know and trust. introducing other things. So it's again, it'll require some nurturing, but it's a long game.
Right. Yeah, it's super interesting because it's a strategic purchase where you see a use for it that is much greater than just a site that makes no money. If it
Yeah,
works out just a little bit, I mean, you can leverage the few sales into much larger sales, which is what you hope to do. Maybe you would make, I'm just making up numbers, but maybe you make $100 on the sale from one of those hunting or outdoor products, and then whenever you sell your main product that's 4 or 5 thousand, maybe you're making 10x that, right? So I see the
yeah,
path where it works out. So yeah,
yeah. I think if I make two sales, if I refer two sales to my main store, I've made my money back. Like in e-commerce business world, let's say, $2,000 is a rip-off because the value of an e-commerce store is like the average net monthly profit. So if you make like $100 a month, it's over the course of a year. If that's the average, then it's worth $1,200. So if you're making zero, in theory, the store is actually worth zero, and it's a cost because you have monthly fees to pay to Shopify, for example. But I see the like the 12-month end goal. I think what it can be. I think $2,000 will be a no-brainer a year from now.
yeah, I think so too. And it's interesting that you bring up the value of websites because that is, on the affiliate side, usually it's based on profit too. You could purchase a
Okay.
website, and if it's making, say, we'll just hopefully keep the numbers easy for me here. If it's making $100 profit per month, then maybe you could sell it for 30 times that. So I don't know if the values hold up, but $100 per month, you could probably buy the site for about 3,000, give or take. The age matters, the trajectory of the site matters. However, right, just like you said, 2,000 is sort of a ripoff if it's not making any money because it's actually
Mm.
a monthly liability and expense. But on an affiliate site, you potentially have value in the content that's already on the site. You have some value in existing traffic and the age of the site, the age of the domain, backlinks. So
Mm.
there's some like intrinsic value where it's really hard to put a value on it unless you have a
Yeah.
strategic way to use it. Or if you just happen to know, like, I mean, I think you looked at the site and you thought, well, I have another way to run this site, and I know it's a successful way. If you're not paying for your traffic or you're taking the content approach, then often you're able to really change the math literally on the profit margin. So yeah,
Yeah.
kind of interesting, but you are right. A website generally is going to be some sort of expense each month, each year, something like that. So okay. Any other thoughts on this strategy?
No, it's sort of a let's see how it plays out because there's no precedent for buying an e-commerce store and using it as a marketing funnel. Usually, you would buy an e-commerce store to try to make it generate sales, so it becomes a profitable asset. But we'll see. Yeah, it's an ongoing experiment. That I won't. We'll see. Maybe our next catch up, we'll know if it worked or not.
Yeah, definitely. So before we sort of finish up and hear about what you're going to be working on soon, how much time do you put into your business? Because the sheer amount of money that you're bringing in sounds like, man, you must be working 80-hour weeks or something like that. And I don't know
Mm.
the answer to this, but I know some people are workaholics and they just grind it out. But yeah, how often do you work, say, each week or month? What's your schedule like?
Now it's pretty good because well, when we spoke last, I think it was like last November, about a year ago anyway. I was I was working like 100 hours a week, and it was insane. Not that I was grinding 100 hours, but I was just constantly. I might be in Ahrefs or I was just on live chat or answering the phone, and I was doing a lot of work. Now I work about an hour a day, something like that. But since the last time we spoke, I've hired 5 people. So I went from like a one-man juggling show, spinning plates and sometimes breaking plates, to now I've got like a team of 5. everybody's doing something else, and I'm just there sort of checking in to make sure everything's okay. And I do more of the visionary, let's try this experiment sort of thing.
Was it hard shifting gears and delegating?
It was very hard to give over the reins, yeah, especially to customer service, because it took me a very long time to be comfortable talking to people on the phone about the products and sounding like I knew what I was talking about. It takes a very long time to become an expert. And then to just give somebody complete control of whether that person is convinced or not to buy after the conversation, it was very hard. But I should have handed up the reins a year ago. I just didn't have any, I don't have any SOPs in place. And I knew I needed help. I just didn't know how I could even give somebody the tools to do a good job. So I ended up just always doing it myself, and then, but I got to a point that was just breaking point, breaking down, burnout. Um, I think last year one time I even cried into my breakfast cereal first thing in the morning, and I didn't even know I was crying. My wife was like, "Yeah, John, you're burnt out. You need help." I said, "You might be right." But you don't see it like happening. It just comes to creep up on you over a long time, and then but now that everybody knows what their role is and they're all doing a really good job, they're all on Slack. If they need me, they message me. Otherwise, I just sort of log in, see how everybody's doing. I sort of throw ideas out to them, with, depending on what their role is, and I say, "What do you think about this?" And so I'm sort of steering the ship. So I could do an hour a day, 2 hours a day, and that's it really.